So what is a Nevis LLC and how can it help you? A Nevis LLC is a limited liability company established on the island of Nevis, West Indies, and that's in the Caribbean Sea southeast of Florida. Now, most people set them up for the purpose of asset protection from lawsuits. In fact, our firm has set up more Nevis LLCs by far than anyone in the world. In fact, I set up my first Nevis Corporation in 1994, 1 year before the LLC laws were even enacted. So if you want to learn about the Nevis LLC, you're in the right place. The legislature enacted favorable laws to encourage the formation of Nevis LLCs, and the government has continuously improved upon the statute since 1995 when they first came into effect. Now, there was an amendment passed in 2015 that provides additional benefits such as reducing the time frame for charging order liens. A charging order lien is essentially a lien on a member's ownership interest in an LLC. With a Nevis LLC, the lien falls off in 3 years and such liens are not renewable. Now, the island of Nevis comprises a portion of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The country is analogous to a country with two states, St. Kitts on one hand and Nevis on the other. And the islands are located 2 miles from each other across a channel called the Narrows. Now, Nevis has its own separate company legislation apart from the laws in St. Kitts. In fact, I've been to Nevis several times, and I know the last 2 premiers of Nevis personally. And the funniest thing I remember is driving into town for the first time from the airport, and by the road I saw a monkey crossing sign, and then around the next corner was a guy with a monkey on a leash walking it across the street. And if you appreciate this information, please click the like button below so YouTube promotes it. Thank you very much. You can also click the subscribe button so that when more videos come out like this, you'll be up to date right away. Now, Nevis was the first offshore tax haven to enact LLC statutes. Moreover, lawmakers continuously enhance the protections and privacy that the Nevis LLC offers. And we also have a virtual office program in Nevis. This includes a Nevis address with mail forwarding. It also includes a Nevis phone number and assistance forming a bank account in Nevis or elsewhere. Here's some quick notes. A Nevis LLC can hold assets in any jurisdiction. Now, for asset protection purposes, it's best if the company's funds are not invested in American institutions if you live in the U.S., and that's because the U.S. courts have jurisdiction over U.S. financial accounts. Now, if your Nevis LLC has only one member, our CPA recommends filing the 8832 form with the IRS and electing disregarded entity status. In such case, one just reports the Nevis LLC income on one's own personal tax forms. Make sure to see a CPA for more information. Now, if there's more than one member, an LLC needs to file an information report with the IRS. Typically, your portion of the income is reported on your personal tax returns. Now, it's important to know the asset protection benefits of a Nevis LLC. The Nevis High Court does not recognize a charging order issued by a foreign court, such as a U.S. court. As such, creditors must apply for an entirely separate action within the Nevisian legal system. We have not seen even one case where a U.S. creditor obtained a charging order lien through the Nevis courts to hold up a U.S. judgment against our clients. Not one. There was an instance in 2015 where a Florida court ruled that a creditor could foreclose on a debtor's membership interest in a Nevis LLC. The mistake the Nevis LLC member made, however, was this. The assets were in the U.S. where the U.S. courts had the jurisdiction. And what's the difference between God and a federal judge? God doesn't think he's a federal judge. Now, the Florida court ruled that it can order foreclosure on the debtor's single-member Nevis LLC because of the state law. That is, since one can foreclose on a single-member Florida LLC, the courts allowed foreclosure on the Nevis LLC and seized the local assets. Now, there are other courts, most by the way, that have reached an opposite result. That is, they say the charging order liens must be filed in Nevis where the company originated. The lesson? Keep your assets you hold in your Nevis LLC in international accounts. That way, U.S. courts don't have jurisdiction. And we have other strategies for real estate asset protection that you can view on our website or YouTube channel. The members and managers of the Nevis LLC can enjoy significant privacy. Now, the government does not post such names in the public records for these entities. Thus, it provides members and managers with peace of mind that their identities will remain protected from prying eyes or ears. This is, of course, except for serious criminal matters such as drug dealing or terrorism. Nevis limited liability companies offer more protection than those of any other country worldwide. You may hold your company records anywhere in the world. That being said, Nevis wants to make sure it only does good, clean, honest business. So to form a Nevis LLC, one needs to provide know your client documents. And they require this due diligence to show the owner of the Nevis LLC is a good guy and not a bad guy. So expect to provide the following legally required items. Proof of residential address. This must be a recent utility bill, credit card statement, or bank statement. You can provide the original document or a copy that has been certified by a notary public as a true copy of the original. A copy of the photograph page of your passport or a copy of your driver's license duly certified by a notary public. A financial institution reference letter, such as a bank. A professional reference letter, attorney or accountant, and we may be able to help you with that if needed. The purpose for which the company is required and provide full details, and the source of funds and estimated capital you will initially deposit into the company. All this information is kept at the office of the registered agent and is not made public. Now, why do they need this? Well, not to be nosy. Think about it. Would you rather do business in a place where your money is safe, where they have a good reputation, or do you want the place to be like Somalia, Sudan, Venezuela, where bad guys run free, where somebody could seize your property in a moment's notice? That's why. In addition, if Nevis did not collect due diligence, the OECD would impose economic sanctions on them. Now, the OECD is a group of 38 countries that enforce economic policies. Plus, most of our clients want to do business in a financial center with a good, clean reputation. Now, the benefits of an LLC include protecting your assets from lawsuits, agencies, and financial creditors. And owners are protected by law because they cannot be held legally responsible for company debts or obligations in case something goes wrong in the business operation. This provides peace of mind. Members can feel secure that if anything happens to arise within the organization, the Nevis LLC protects their personal assets. Managers can also enjoy full control over the company regardless of whether or not that person is a Nevis LLC member. Now, the laws in Nevis previously stated that a creditor must post a $100,000 bond before they can file legal documents against one's interest in an LLC. As of 2019, the Nevis High Court set this bond for any amount, including well over $100,000. Benefit number 2, the statute of limitations period for fraudulent transfers is only 2 years. For example, say you transfer your assets into a Nevis LLC today. We're not saying those assets won't be protected until after 2 years. The company protects the assets right away. What we're saying, rather, is that after 2 years, the Nevis courts will refuse to hear challenges of transfers of assets into the LLC. Number 3, a creditor needs to prove his or her case beyond a reasonable doubt that the LLC member conveyed assets into the LLC to hinder the creditors. Number 4, protection is available to single-member LLCs as well as multi-member LLCs. 5, charging orders against a member's interest in the organization fall away after 3 years and are not renewable. Number 6, a manager can control a Nevis LLC 100%, and a manager may or may not be a member or owner of the LLC. Number 8, a Nevis LLC can have an unlimited number of members. Number 9, a person or another company or trust may own the Nevis LLC. 10, Nevis does not impose taxes on offshore companies, though U.S. people are taxed on worldwide income. 11, members may be people or business entities in any country. 12, one may merge the company with another company, foreign or domestic. 13, LLC members can assign their membership interest to others. 14, members or those they designate can manage the Nevis LLC. And 15, there are no limitations to the number or type of membership units. 16, may be a good choice for a group of investors because of the liability protection. 17, can be set up in as little as 24 hours during most business days. Naturally, the shipping time will take longer. Now, the primary distinction between an LLC and a normal company, such as a C corporation in the US, UK's limited companies, or the GmbH in Germany, is that the LLC can be tax neutral. That means one doesn't have to worry about paying business taxes when doing business outside of Nevis. Naturally, it's important to get licensed tax advice and to make sure you're doing things right. Now, if the Nevis LLC itself has no tax payment obligation, then who does? The responsibility for the taxes that would otherwise be owed by the company bypasses the LLC and attaches directly to the members. Members are like shareholders of corporations. Other companies, individuals, or trusts can be members as well. There's no limit on how many members you can have in your Nevis LLC. What matters most, though, is every individual member is responsible for the tax obligations of his or her own pro rata share of the LLC income. From an asset protection standpoint, there really is no comparison. LLCs offer superior protection, and in most jurisdictions, a judgment creditor can seize shares in a corporation. There are protections in place, however, to seizing one's membership interest in an LLC, and this is especially true with a Nevis LLC. Want to maximize your asset protection from lawsuits? Then put your Nevis LLC into an offshore trust. Why? This is because our trustee/law firm can step in to protect you when needed. Now, if you're a manager and signatory and bank accounts, a results-oriented judge can force your hand. So we often place the Nevis LLCs into the Nevis Trust or Cook Islands Trust, and this gives the most powerful asset protection available. Your friendly neighborhood judge does not have jurisdiction over our foreign law firm. So looking at the case law, this strategy has protected the assets of our clients 100% of the time. The benefits? The Offshore Trust Plus Nevis LLC structure gives you the ability to deploy your legal armor plating in a snap. The trustee/law firm steps in as manager, and your legal enemy cannot use your local courts to force the seizure of your assets. And you maintain access to the funds through your trustee. Now, here are some questions people commonly ask about Nevis LLCs. How much does the Nevis LLC cost? Setting up a Nevis LLC with our attorneys may cost from a few thousand to $10,000 depending on the services that you need. We provide the articles and operating agreement, drafted for asset protection and membership certificates. How safe is this? Much safer than losing all of your assets to a lawsuit. Nevis laws are tailored to protect your assets and support the reputation of its financial services industry. The bank account may or may not be in Nevis, so your bank account can be in the Cook Islands, can be in Switzerland, or other jurisdiction that offers financial safety. That is, you'll want to house your funds in a jurisdiction that does not recognize foreign judgments. What about an LLC in another country? Now, we have conducted research on the countries that offer the most favorable LLC asset protection regulations. And at this time, we have not found any LLC that offers better asset protection than a Nevis LLC. Have any more questions or want to form a Nevis LLC and/or offshore asset protection trust? Go ahead and call us or fill out our free consultation form on our website. Please click like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Thanks for watching. This is The Business Guy.